Clare Winslow here, showing you today how you might use a stencil with acrylics to make a very easy but beautiful textured patterned print. And this is on a piece of cradled wood which I got from the art store, and I painted it a lighter blue. And I think if you try this process you'll really like it. It doesn't require a whole lot of thinking, and you can just relax while you're doing it. So I'm using acrylics. I've taped down my stencil. This is a large stencil that I made using a Cricut machine, but you can use any stencil that you make or buy. But I do recommend a larger one that has bigger holes, because that's going to be easier for this process. If you pick a small one that has little tiny holes, it just won't be as fun. So again, big stencil with pretty big holes. And the other thing I'm using is acrylics and a foam brush applicator. It has a narrow tip, and you'll notice I'm not using it flat. I'm using the tip of the foam brush to make marks with the paint and the in the holes. So you want to, oh, by the way, please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy these art tutorials. Thank you. And so back to this. You want to make different kinds of marks to make it interesting for the viewer, for the eye. So you'll notice sometimes I put it on kind of heavy, and other times I apply the paint rather lightly. So I think it's good with this kind of thing, and because the pattern is so regular, it's good to vary your paint application and vary your values, light to dark, and vary your colors too. I tend to restrict my colors to a few. That's up to you whether you want to use a lot of different colors and make it kind of like stained glass, or if you just want to use a few. I'll probably end up with about 4 colors here. So I think the main thing is to I'm picking colors kind of as I go, and things that complement with blue and kind of this orangey yellow. So we'll see. I haven't pre-decided what colors to use. I'm kind of just deciding at the moment. Oh, it's good to check and see how that looks. You might need to adjust and maybe paint it a little bit thicker in places. Okay, so color number 2, I've decided to use a darker blue, and this is kind of in the same family as the background, but it contrasts with that warm yellow. So that looks good to me. And again, I'm kind of randomly picking areas. You notice I'm not going to put the blue everywhere. I'm just going to choose a few areas scattered around, and knowing that some of these holes are going to be filled with at least 1 or maybe 2 more colors. And of course you can mix, like you could apply some blue over the yellow and go back and apply more blue if you think you didn't get it dark enough. So this is just a really enjoyable and relaxing kind of way to paint. Okay, so I'll probably speed up the camera because now it's going to be a fair amount of repetition. This is a darker, sort of a gray, almost black. And that provides a nice accent. Remember I said it's good to have a range of colors, so light to dark. This will be my dark one. And I'm still varying it. Sometimes I'm putting it kind of light, sometimes I'm putting it heavy. And again, just kind of using it as a dark accent in certain places. I think that's going to help the variety here. So it's looking pretty good. I'm also, in case I didn't mention it, I'm turning my wrist a little bit sometimes to change the direction of the stroke. So that's all part of good mark making. You want to make your marks a little bit different, so you're not doing the same thing every single time. And sometimes I'll mix the black in with the blue, or put it over the blue, and that's nice. I'm not going to fill up everything. I think I leave at least 1 hole empty, and in a few seconds we'll check and see how this looks. By the way, these stencils are great, and they are reusable if you make one of these plastic kind. I've used this a few times now. It holds up pretty well over multiple uses. You can also make stencils from paper or cardstock, and those are pretty good too. All right, that's coming pretty close. I think it looks nice, like a Swedish textile or something. Not quite done though. There's something missing, don't you think? What do you think? I think it needs one more thing. It needs one more accent. So it's dried a little bit. I'm still being careful not to smudge the paint, and I'm going to put it back down and do a couple of accents here. And it's going to be white, yes, or a warm white. Just to give it, I felt it needed a little accent in the light direction. We had the dark, but it just needed a bigger range. So just in a few places, I'm putting the white here, and I think that's going to help it be finished. Yeah, I can already tell that that's a little bit more interesting. So you don't need tons of colors, but you know, a few, and then try to get the light and the dark in there. All right, I'm calling this done. I think it looks great. It's very textured and like a fabric or textile. All right, I hope you get to try this.